What's up guys, David here from PhoneBuff, and in this video we're going to be doing a speed comparison test between every single Nexus smartphone from the Nexus One all the way up to the Nexus 5 to see how far both Android and today's hardware has come. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first test we'll run here is a boot up test to see just how long each phone takes to load up its version of the Android OS. While these guys are loading up, I'll let you know that both the Nexus One and the Nexus S on the left have a single core 1 GHz processor coupled with 512 MB of RAM. The Galaxy Nexus in the middle has a 1.2 GHz dual core with a full gigabyte of RAM, and the Nexus 4 and 5 on the right have quad cores clocked at 1.5 and 2.3 GHz respectively, both coupled with 2 GB of RAM. So as you can see, the Nexus 5 and the Nexus 4 finished at about the same time, maybe only a split second difference. Following those two is the dual core Galaxy Nexus, then of course the Nexus S, and just over 15 seconds after the Nexus 5 is the Nexus One, wrapping up the boot up test. The next test we'll run is loading up the same exact app on each phone, which in this case is a game in Temple Run 2, which is both processor and GPU intensive. Keep in mind that because the resolutions are different, the game becomes more and more taxing as the resolutions get higher, which makes the fact that the Nexus 5 loads up so much quicker than even the Nexus 4 really impressive. With the visual quality turned up to the maximum on each phone, the Nexus 5 is able to get a game up and running 4 seconds faster than the Nexus 4, 3 seconds after which the Galaxy Nexus gets going, and then in what seems like forever in this day and age but is only really 10 seconds later, you can play Temple Run 2 on the single core Nexus S, and then finally, 8 seconds after that, or a whole 25 seconds after the Nexus 5, the Nexus One finishes up loading the game. Yeah, if you're stuck with a phone from early 2010, you're losing about 25 seconds of your life every time you play Temple Run 2. Alright, so the final test we'll do here is the browser test, where we'll be loading up the full media-rich Verge website. Now, as you're watching each of these load up, keep an eye not only on the status bar, but also on the pictures that show up behind each story box. As you'll notice, the Nexus 5 and the Nexus 4 both finished loading relatively quickly, just a few seconds apart. The Galaxy Nexus finishes quicker than expected, perhaps thanks to its dual-core chip, but the single-core Nexus S and the Nexus One really struggle here, so much so that I'm just going to skip to when they're done so we can test the responsiveness on each phone, which, by the way, is just buttery smooth on the Nexus 5, decent on the Galaxy Nexus, and then just gets really bad when you get down to the Nexus One. Okay, that about wraps up this video, but I have to say that it's amazing to see how far both Android and today's hardware have come in just a couple of short years, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. But that's pretty much it for me in this video. If you liked it, please hit that like and share button, it helps out the channel a bunch, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more mobile technology videos just like this. Thank you for watching.